the executive SUV segment is a biggie, and it's a biggie for me because it actually houses some of my favorite models. They include the Audi Q5 or Volvo XC60, now the new Lexus NX, like BMW X3. There's so many. It's like that. I think it's this segment that like most people that I know want to buy a family car want those but don't have the money for them. Like I wouldn't be able to afford any of them, but they want that, but then they have to settle, for something not so premium, and then that's where this sort of gap happens and everyone's like bummed with what they buy, But anyways, besides the point. So this is the new second generation Mercedes-Benz GLC, which has never really been on at the top of my recommendation list. And that's just me, because it is Mercedes-Benz's best-selling model, okay? Gone are the days where the C-Class is the number one position. It is not for Merc. This is kind of just like a big C-Class, isn't it? Like with a raised one, with a bit of off-roadiness. But it's now like all the rage for Merc, and so for Merc lovers, right? So there's no reason necessarily that I've ever... No, well, there is obviously a reason that it was never at the top of my list, but this new generation, I think, has gone up like a bunch of notches for me, if anything, because of this interior, right? Okay, so I'm in the 300D. What is with this red, though? Who chooses this? I will judge you openly, and I'll say it to your face. Gosh, it's too much. It's a little bit extra. I don't love it, but it doesn't matter about that. It is a very well-designed cabin. Super, super modern in here, like super duper modern. I don't think you get like more modern, really. It's like very high-tech. You've got this big screen that is also very high-tech. Maybe a little bit too techy for me, in fact. But you've got like different screens that you select off-road, and it looks so cool, like on both screens. Like it's just, I want to say intense, but in a very good way, not in an over-the-top way, which is great. The air vents I love because, okay, one of my gripes is when you put the aircon on, I want to feel the air on my face when it's like really hot or whatever, and I can't. Because it's sometimes the direction these move in like all sorts of directions, and it just hits me right in the face. I love it. The camera is pretty incredible, especially on off-road mode, or if you want, you can sort of see. You can just see everything actually. I just wish it had a volume button. Everything's these like haptic, these touchy, slidey things, and everything's on the screen. I just don't love it. To change the air conditioning, the same thing. That's not exclusive to Merc. I hate that on any car, and I just wish that we go back to traditional buttons. I say that probably in every review. The only thing I don't love, so it's got loads of storage space, but I don't love that when I want to put my phone somewhere, it goes into a cup holder, or I just want it here in front of me when I'm driving. Great that I can, I never leave it in the car really anyways, but you can put stuff in and hide it. But yeah, I don't love that it's all here. It's all a little bit like this for me. Don't love that. Space-wise, great. The boot has got 70 extra litres, so it's like 600 and something litres, really big boot. I went to Builder's Warehouse yesterday in this car and got I think I got like 7 or 8 bags of wood, but like big bags, like the 89 Rand bags from Builders. I know, not the most economic, but we're struggling to find good firewood at the moment. Anybody else? Christ, well, we're not like, we're rookies in this, so I didn't know you should buy like almost in the summer, and then it dries out, and then I don't know. And who's got that much space to store that much wood? Anyways, I digress. Anyways, all the wood fitted into the boot, no problems whatsoever, like super, super easily. Also very easy is to put a car seat in here. I love that. The ISOFIX are like right there. Hey, click, click, done. Which is fab. Enough legroom for passenger when Luke is in the car. He's still kicking the back of the seat, but that's just about every car, unless you're in like a Kia Carnival or something, which I love. I do have to mention the one thing that I can't get over. I put a video on TikTok of it and on my Instagram reels and stuff, because I just have that mind, okay? I can't help it. The electric tow bar that now you press the button on the boot at the back and then it comes up, and all I could think of was like, morning, every time I do it. Ridiculous and childish, I know, but I don't care. Sometimes you just have to look at things and see the humor. Come on, so phallic. Every time I see it, I laugh. Anyways, back to the car. So you've got a 2-litre turbo diesel, you've got 190 kilowatts and 550 newton meters, and then it's also got a mild hybrid system, which gives you a little bit more power and torque at times as well. To be very honest, I didn't even notice that there was a mild hybrid. Like I mean, I knew it, but then, you know, I got the car and I was driving, and then when I was like sort of doing my research just to make sure I know what I'm talking about, I then was like, oh yeah, which I kind of love because, you know, you can't feel, I prefer that you can't feel it. I just want it to be fuel efficient. That's it. Which it is, except for when I'm driving. So you can get it into like the 6s, you know, I'm sitting at like 9. But that's really, I know myself. I don't blame the cars for this, you know. Yeah. Okay, so there's also, it's got air suspension, which I think is great. The tires are too big. I wish they were smaller. So it makes the ride ever so slightly firmer. But it is very comfortable and very refined in every other way. Something I must mention as well, though, the Merc, and I think this is why it's never been on my recommendation list, it's always like a bit clunky and you can hear everything move. I don't feel that as much in this model, but what I don't love, and it's something that's probably just so personal and silly, and maybe it wouldn't bother anyone else. Dude, off. Come on, you're not going to go anywhere. There are cars in front of all of us. I'd also like to not be stuck behind a truck. God, this guy's pissing me off. Anyway. The rear view camera, when it comes out of its socket, it makes like a really like, and then it just sounds a bit industrial. Do you know, like not so refined. Like you don't always hear cameras when they're going out. Like you might be like, anyways, that's just something personal I don't love. What I also don't love is the price. So this is in at about like 1.4 million without any optional extras. You're going up to like 1.5 or something if you put any other stuff in. Like I said, I'm in the 300D model. I would 100% go for a Q5, or in fact a Volvo XC60 is probably what I would go for. Both are cheaper and as refined, as premium as everything. And like I said, they're my favorite models, so I would go. I don't know if anything is as modern and as techy as this. So then you could weigh it up if you want, but I would go with like what's more affordable, obviously. So, but otherwise, you know, I can see why this is a best-selling car for Merc. It's really fab. It does everything quite well, and it is now as modern as it probably could be. Go Merc. It's very murky. Not like murky waters, like murky as in Mercedes-Benz.